That would be funny.
Good morning. The October 25th, 2017 meeting of the Board of Investments is now called to order. In the interest of promoting the order and efficiencies of these hearings, persons who are disruptive to the hearings will be asked to leave the hearing room immediately. Meetings of the Board of Investments are open to the public for the duration of the meeting. The hearing room must be vacated at the conclusion of the meeting. Failure to comply may result in a charge of trespassing. Madam Deputy Controller, are there any corrections, additions, or deferrals on the agenda?
Good morning. For today's agenda, there is a correction on page 104. Currently, it reads as a submitting agency, Department of Transportation. Please delete that and replace it with Department of Public Works. We have one item for which we've received a protest, and that is page 102, item number 5, from Hughes Barney Investigations. That same item, page 102, item number 5, has been moved to the non-routine agenda. In the absence of the Honorable Comptroller Pratt, I, Bernice H. Taylor, will act on her behalf today. I have the following abstentions to note. For the Honorable Mayor Pugh, there are no abstentions. For the Honorable President Young, he will abstain on pages 55 to 56. And for the Honorable Comptroller Pratt, there are no abstentions. And again, the item that remains on the non-routine is page 102, number 5. Mr. President, members of the board, those are the corrections to the agenda, the one protest received, as well as the item on the non-routine agenda, and the abstentions that have been reported thus far. Thank you.
Thank you. I will direct the board members' attention to the memorandum from our office dated October 23rd, 2017, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections and additions that have been noted by the Deputy Controller. I will entertain a motion to approve all of the items contained on the routine agenda.
Mr. President, I move to approve those items on the routine agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion carries. The first item on the non-routine agenda can be found on page 102, item 5, Bureau of Purchasing, recommendation for contract award B50005017, background investigation. Will the parties please come forward?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, honorable members of the board. Erin Smith, Bureau of Purchases. I do have the Baltimore Police Department with me, as well as our recommended vendor, Kentech Consulting, as I know there were some concerns about the vendor's commitment to coming into compliance. We are convinced that this vendor is highly qualified, and they did make some mistakes on their MB forms requesting the ability to self-perform. However, they have since been working on coming into compliance, and if we'd like to hear from the vendor directly, we can do that. Otherwise, I think if we want to discuss the commitment to bringing high-quality background investigative services to the Baltimore Police Department, I'd like to introduce Major Hanley.
I have some questions first. I have questions.
Yes.
Can you describe the purpose of this contract?
The purpose of this contract is to outsource background investigations so that the backlog of hiring can be reduced or even eliminated. In this situation, we're looking for a professional firm who has done similar background investigations for hiring police officers.
Okay, how many firms bidded on this contract?
Only 2.
And why is that?
I'm not sure. We actually had a very large number of firms on the bidders list, including many local firms, but only 2 submitted bids.
Okay, can we see the tabulation sheets?
Yes. And sorry, give me a moment.
And while you're doing that, who was the lowest bidder?
The lowest bidder, looking at price alone, was Hughes Barney. However, they were not the lowest responsible bidder. We determined that they were not a responsible bidder. Did not feel that they had in any way demonstrated that they had the expertise or capacity or understanding of the scope to satisfy the city's requirements.
Okay, well, while you're finding the sheets, my other question is, they were found non-compliant by IMBU because they didn't achieve the goals. And they listed themselves as self-performing, and we know that they certified in Chicago but not certified in Baltimore.
That is correct.
So are they going to get certified in Baltimore? And will they have an office here in Baltimore?
My understanding is they are. However, I would prefer that the vendor speak to that directly.
Okay.
And I will pass up the bid tabulation sheet.
And how was these tabulated in order to come up with who you're going to recommend the contract to?
Sorry, do you want to move over here?
Because you know how I feel about local folk getting these contracts.
I do. So the two bidders, one was located in Chicago. That's the recommended awardee. The other is located in Largo, Maryland. They were the lower bidder. However, a review of their experience that they submitted showed that they did not in any way meet the requirements of the city. They did provide examples of their experience. However, it was not of the type that we were expecting, or in fact that I feel that the city requires.
So what type of experience do they have that Hughes Barney did not have? And why was Hughes Barney's bid thrown out?
So the recommended vendor, Kentech Consulting, has experience working directly with large urban police departments such as New York Police Department, Chicago Police, Chicago Fire, LA Personnel Department. We felt that those showed that they could handle the capacity and the complexity of the work. The other vendor did not have any such experience.
Well, who did they find to be their MBE and WBE?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning,
Morning.
Honorable Mayor. Greetings from Chicago. Glad to be here. The two that we found, we actually found the MBE and the
Hold the mic
WBE.
up.
Yes, okay.
Would you identify yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Kenneth Coates. I'm the founder and CEO of Kentech. The MBE we found is Legal Associates. It's Mr. Price, Patru Charles Price. And then a WBE is, can't think of her name now, Lori Petrobo. But she's a WB locally here, certified. So we plan to use both of those.
Okay, because I'm very interested in that, and also in making sure that since they said that we didn't have Hughes Barney, I don't even know who they are. Are they here? Okay, I don't even know who they are, but I just wanted to make sure that we have experienced people that are doing these jobs. And my question is, how would you manage it from Chicago?
Well, two things. We're actually going to get an office here. We're in the process of getting a lease here in the office. We understand strong community support, so part of our agenda is also not only to use the MBE, WBE. In addition, we will be seeking our own MBE. Not sure if it would qualify or not, but that is our intention. And then third, our goal is to actually hire local. So we've begun posting for positions of field investigators, which we will need as well.
But why did you ask for a waiver?
Well, at the time, we didn't realize that our MBE would not be in compliance be established as a local MBE.
Okay.
Because we're certified with Chicago, LA, New York. We're also certified on the federal level as an 8A firm, as well as another organization called NMSDC. And we had thought at the time, our hope was that one of those certifications would be in compliance, but we were told it was not.
Okay, I can hear from you, Major Handy.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor. So, as you know, we have at least 200 people that leave the police department every year. In the past 15 years, we have not been able to keep up with the attrition rate, or have we had the ability to hire and fill the current vacancies. Right now, with the number of applications that we're getting in the city, I believe we can do this. The issue we're facing is the recruitment unit's staff has been cut in half over the past 3 years. I don't have the staff to be able to do this, and the staff that I do have works at a much slower pace than the outside vendor can. The outside vendor has committed to completing background investigations in 1 month. This does not mean that I will be removing background investigators from the recruitment unit. This will be a joint effort. What Kentech has committed to do is do the work that takes my background investigators months to do because they're working so many cases. I only have 12 background investigators. By outsourcing, I'm going to have double and triple the number of background investigators to do the lengthy work, the sending out the references, the checking with other law enforcement agencies, getting police reports. It's really the boots on the ground work that we need done. So the good news is Baltimore residents have applied at a much higher rate this year than at any time in the past. Compared to last year, we are up 145% in applications in Baltimore. The problem is our background investigations take so long that we lose those applicants to other police departments. By speeding up our process, I'm confident that we'll be able to hire them. Now, our African American applicants are up 163% this year compared to last year. To enable us to be able to improve the hiring, we have to do it quickly so we don't lose quality candidates to other departments. That's why we really need to outsource the background investigations. And just this year, just looking at this, what I really wanted to see is how does this actually translate? How do the applicants in 2017, we have these great increases in diversity in city residents in 2017 as far as applications go. How does that work on the end when we're hiring? Well, when I look at it, so for people that have applied in 2017, we've hired 30 of those.
Out of how many?
Out of how many applications?
Yeah.
It's well over 1,000. It's 1,180, sir.
And we
So-
only hired 30?
So,
Yes, because the whole hiring process when I first took over took about a year and a half. From application, civil service test date to hire took about a year and a half. We're down to about a year to a year and a half now. 6 months to a year now. So when you look at that, it's
Let's back up a minute.
Mhm.
You said only 30 been hired, right?
Out of
Okay,
the-
out of the 30, I mean, before you got to the 30, how many was disqualified? That's
So-
the number I want.
So I don't have that right now, but what I do have are some pretty impressive statistics that show the change in the recruitment unit and how this is going to work, if you allow me to proceed.
You
sir.
go ahead.
So out of those 30 people we've hired that have applied in 2017, 13 of those, or 43%, are city residents. We've never hired that many city residents as a percentage out of all of our hires.
So that
Out of
means you
those-
guys are doing a good job. Madam Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say a couple things. First, as a Bloomberg city, one of the things we focused on was the background checks, because when we looked at what was slowing the process, it was the background checks. We've actually got about 181 more than in the academy or getting ready to hit the streets, more than we've had since 2004. And so one of the things that we did as a Bloomberg city was to have them focus on what was slowing down that process. And the background check was the biggest thing that was slowing down the process. Let me just say to you, I understand that you would have thought that we would have waived into MBE, WBE status, and we're moving towards that. If you're certified in another state, if you're certified in another jurisdiction, it makes it a quicker process. So you need to get through that process as quickly as you can, but we do require that you have an office in the city. Major, I understand where we're going with this, and as I've said before, we've worked very hard just in this last 10 months to figure out how do we get more folks in the city. You've been able to do that. But I also know that this is something that we're trying to get the police department out of, because we need police officers on the streets. And I know that part of your shrinking of your particular department was also to get some more patrol officers on our streets, so we thank you for that. This is a tedious process, and I've asked that we do speed it up, because we've got to get more police officers on the street. This is the first year, Mr. President, that we surpassed the attrition rate. We were losing more officers than we were hiring. 181 currently at one stage or another in the academy, or as you said, the 30 that are now on the street, which will give us close to almost 200 officers. And then when we talk about the taking some of those officers who are doing desk work or administrative work and looking at how do we create more patrols, we're currently at about 2,500, am I correct?
That's correct.
And I think in our peak, we were around 3,200, so we're still not where we should be or were. But we do have this backlog that I think is strangling the hiring of police officers, and we need to move in that direction. Mr. President.
Thank you. Well, I would like for you guys to come back in 90 days to let us know how you're doing with this program and how many people are actually being moved through the process so that we can look at apples to apples. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And that's all I have. I'll be voting no on this contract.
Thank you,
I'll
Madam Mayor.
entertain a motion if no one else have any questions.
Mr. President, I move we deny the protest.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Now we have to move the contract forward. Anybody going to entertain the motion?
Move we approve the submission for Kentech. Thank you.
Second.
Excuse me, Mr. President, you're going to add to that motion that I did.
Yeah, we're going to add to that motion
Add
that they,
amended.
yeah, we're going to amend that motion to reflect that in 90 days you will come back before this board.
Yes.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please note, Council President Young is a no. There'll be no more business before this board. This meeting will recess until bid opening at 12 noon.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. The Board of Ethics is now in session for the receiving and opening of bids. I have two addenda to read for today. SC 930R, Clinton Street Sewage System Improvements. Please change the bid due date from October 25th to November 15th, 2017. SC 950, Caroline Street Stormwater Pumping Station Improvements. Please change the bid due date from October 25th to November 15th, 2017. Those are the addendum for today. Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Yes, no objections.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you ready? Thank you. GS 13817, Waxter Senior Center Elevator Upgrade. A bid bond is required if the amount is over $100,000. Delaware Elevator, $640,000 with a bid bond. Nichols Contracting, Inc., with a bid bond, $569,160.
These bids will be referred to General Services for calculation and review.
WC 1366, Urgent Need Water Infrastructure Rehabilitation. A bid bond is required if the amount is over $100,000. J. Fletcher Kramer and Son, Inc., with a bid bond. $7,295,971. Civil Construction, LLC, with a bid bond. $7,105,600. Spiniello Companies, with a bid bond. $6,543,300. Monumental Paving and Excavating, Inc., with a bid bond. $10,121,801. Anchor Construction Corp., with a bid bond. $12,755,918. R.E. Harrington Plumbing and Heating Company, Inc., with a bid bond. $7,947,175. Metra Industries with a bid bond. $7,030,423. That's a good one. Let me switch out. Thank you. Rustler Construction, Inc. with a bid bond. $7,999,995.
That concludes WC 1366. All these proposals will be referred to the Department of Public Works for calculation and review.
I'm gonna have a check here in a second. We'll check in a minute.
Which one? That's coming up.
Company name is here. B50005139, flatbed trailers. A bid bond is not required. Stephen L. Green Trailers with a check, $57,500. The Hitchman, Inc., $56,740. Oh, I'm sorry. We have more, please.
Proposals on B50005130 will be referred to the Bureau of Purchasing for calculation and review.
Okay. Department of Finance, tax sale auction of tax liens. We have one bidder with a check. Chixirim, Chikesirim. Sorry. Yukabu, UKAE, ABU, for 1824 Division Street with a money order. That refers to the Department of Finance.
Department of Finance will review that submission
Yes,
for calculation. Review.
yes.
That concludes the day's business. We'll stand in recess.